Yep. Welcome everybody to our December 2020 Coffee with Cathy, our Kaiser mayor, and she'll open up our neighborhood discussion today. Welcome, Cathy, and all our participants. Take it away, Cathy.
Thank you so much, David, and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everyone in Kaiser. I want to go straight to Santa Central. This is where about 180 families are about to get a wonderful gift from the Kaiser community. Jonathan Thompson, you are there along with Colleen Bush from Salem Kaiser Transit. The show is yours. Tell us what's going on at Santa Central.
Thank you, Mayor Clark. Yeah, we're here at Santa Central today. We're providing food boxes and Christmas gifts to 185 families, plus about 500 individual kids are all getting both a need and a want. So clothing item like a jacket and a toy. So those are all going to go out here in the next about 3 hours. We've got a line of drivers outside backed up to River Road waiting to haul them, but Kaiser came through big this year. Kaiser came through big this year, and we can't say thank you enough. We've got a ton of volunteers here loading cars and a ton of drivers. So, like I said, this is an amazing thing to see.
Well, talk to us a little bit about the food collection. This was in partnership with Gubser Elementary. We had a chance to get a lot of food donated, and a huge thank you to everybody who was so generous.
Huge thank you. We actually had two major food donations this year. Typically we have one. The Kaiser Miracle of Lights people gave us their food collections for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The first of theirs, which was 2 pickup bedfuls. So we appreciate that. And then also this year, with the help of some other community organizations like the Salem Jeepers and the Toyota Tundra Club, and then also some city councilors, including the mayor, who was out on Friday night with us at Gubser. We had 2 food collection stations going. So we collected plenty of food. And I can tell you that these food boxes are full to overflowing, thanks to the generosity of Kaiser. And now we just have to carry them. And they're much heavier than last year, but it's worth it.
That is for sure. We want to make sure that the pantries are full and people know that we are meeting practical needs, and want to make absolutely sure that these kids have a very Merry Christmas.
Yes. And like I said, I can't thank Kaiser enough. They came through huge. We were really worried about what the pandemic would do, because we couldn't necessarily have trees in as many places because some of the businesses are closed or limited. But Kaiser community came through. We had more than one person come in and take literally dozens of tags and fill them and bring them back. So it's been amazing to see, and we were able to fill all the tags and get everything done. So it's like I said, I can't thank Kaiser enough. They came through huge.
Well, that is wonderful. Jonathan, we're going to let you get to the cars and get them set up. Just real quick on the chamber side, how are we doing in getting funding out to our businesses through some of the grant programs?
We're publicizing them. We're getting them out as quick as we can. So I haven't heard any complaints this week about it, but we've been up to our eyeballs in this. So I know those programs are moving. We're pushing them. We're organizing them. And please reach out to the chamber. If you're a small business, whether you're a chamber member or not, reach out to the chamber, and we can help connect you to some available programs, both at the local and the county and maybe even the state level for some restaurants. So, if you need help, please reach out. You don't have to be a chamber member to get help, but we do reserve the right to call you after this is over and try to sell you on the benefits of a chamber membership. But for now, we're helping all comers.
Absolutely. Well, I think that the chamber is proving that you are truly a community-based organization, and we are thankful for all of your efforts. And Jonathan, thank you so much to you and your team, all the elves that are down there at Santa Central, and looking forward to hearing some of the stories about the families who are served, and more importantly, how we can keep loving each other. Thank you, Jonathan.
All right.
Merry Christmas.
Did you get on? I'm going to hold this up for Colleen to hear or to see, because she can't get on with her phone. So, yeah.
That sounds good. Hey,
Hi.
Colleen, welcome aboard.
Thank you. My phone is just not behaving itself today, so I apologize for that. So the Colleen with Transit, and as Jonathan was saying, this is pretty active. There's about 20 people down here or more. I'm going to go outside so I can hear better. Let's step outside, Jonathan. Yeah. Oops, excuse me. Trying to stay 6 feet apart, but you know. Okay. So here's outside. Here's all the people. You can see the cars. Being part of it. I might say hi to someone. Is that okay?
Of course.
Okay.
I want to, while Colleen's moving over there, want to thank the folks
Hi.
at the at Kaiser Village for also making the space available.
So I am Colleen Bush with Chariots. I'm on the board there, and this is part of Coffee with Cathy, our Mayor Cathy Clark.
Good morning,
So
Cathy.
we're Facebook living
Hi.
with this. So, and who are you?
I'm Heather.
Heather. I'm glad that you're coming down here to help distribute all of these packages and the food and things.
Yeah. We do this every year. We look forward to it.
Oh, good. And so why do you do it?
It just feels really good to help someone else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you get to meet some new people.
There you
along
go.
the way.
So the mayor just appreciates all the citizens of Kaiser and how they've stepped up and helped each other through all this COVID stuff. So thank you very much.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
Merry Christmas.
I'm going to do one more and then I'll do my stuff. Oh, here, let's talk to Matt Lawyer.
Hey,
You're on
Matt.
Facebook Live with Coffee with Cathy. Could you tell us a little about what's going on today?
We are negotiating traffic and delivering food boxes and gifts to 185 families, serving over 500 kids. We've got a lot of people online right now. It's just a skosh chaotic, but looking forward to getting this thing rolling, becoming a well-oiled machine.
Here we go. And here's what one of the back of the cars looks like.
Wow.
People are getting a lot of good things. So, and one more look at the cars. So anyway, that was kind of fun being an MC. So as far as Chariots is going, we're still operating fare free. I'm going to step off so I can take my mask off, get away from people. You can hear me better. We're still operating fare free, backdoor entry. We have projects still going on. We're looking at the Albany route feasibility study. That's on our discussion at our board meeting on Thursday night. We're also discussing for South Salem Transit Center. That's still on the process. Let me find the rest of my notes. Kind of got off kilter by talking about other things. Again, I appreciate being part of this conversation every month. It's good to get out to the people and to let folks know we are there for you. Chariots is still serving, connecting people with places as safe as possible. We continue to clean our buses every night. We have that fogging machine. We clean in between our routes downtown Transit Mall. We have a new route scheduled to open. And the Polk County Flex is becoming Route 45. And that will start Monday, January 4th, 2021. And the wind's taking my papers away. Woo! This is great. It'll run Monday through Friday every 2 hours, but the riders will still be able to call ahead and ask the bus to come to their location within the Route 45 service area. Check out chariots.org. Our weekday local service is current at the 95% of service. Saturday service is continuing to be 100%. So I think I just heard the bus go by. I can recognize that sound. And one last thing, Chariots is more than a job. We are hiring. If you're interested in being part of our public transportation system, we are looking for a customer service representative and a full-time receptionist. But since our area downtown is still closed, there'll be no actual in-person contact with people. And the receptionist also works downtown, but on the front office on the 5th floor. Again, it'll be phone contact, email contact. And again, for more information about those positions and what everything else that Chariots is doing, go to chariots.org.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Colleen. Thank you for being part of Coffee with Cathy all through the 2020 year, being very, very flexible. And also major kudos to Salem Kaiser Transit for providing essential service to so many people in our community so you can get to where you need to for jobs, services, and meeting your needs. Thank you, Colleen. Have a great time at Santa Central. and blessings to you and your family through the holiday season.
Okay, thank you very much, and the same for you. And I know that you're not here; you're with your family right now, enjoying being a grandma. But one more thing I wanted to mention was we do have a diversity, equity, and inclusion committee working on those issues in our district as well. So again, that's a public participation committee, as well as our citizens advisor committee and a couple others. If you want to participate with Chariots and help us make decisions for our community, chariots.org, connecting people with places.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Colleen.
Thank you.
And so
I'm going to give the phone back to Jonathan.
Okay. All right. Well, I know you probably will have to jump off at this point and go take care of business out there at Santa Central.
Yep. Well, my husband and I are probably going to do some delivering ourselves. So when he gets here, that's what we'll end up doing. But I'll hang on here until that happens. I'll watch.
Okay, we've got some connections. All right, let's see if we can get this going again. All right, Betty, are we going to go to you?
We'll get her microphone turned on.
Okay, that would be a good thing.
Okay, easier said than done sometimes. Yes, that's fine. I have my stuff will sound kind of boring in comparison to what Jonathan and Kat and Colleen talked about, but still important. Probably the most important thing I have to report is that the fire district's Candy Cane Day is next Saturday, and because of the current circumstances, we're going to do a drive-through. It'll be from 9 to 4 p.m. on December 19th at the Kaiser Senior Center, which is on Plymouth at Cherry Avenue. And I have heard that we have a couple of Kaiser celebrities taking turns as Santa Claus over there. So that should be a lot of fun. We originally planned to have a second site, but we had trouble getting enough people to be able to staff 2 sites, so we're just doing it at the Kaiser Senior Center. And if you've been by that parking lot lately, you know there's quite a bit of room there. The Kaiser Fire District Board is meeting this coming Tuesday, the 15th at 7:00 p.m. And again, we're going to be doing it online. You can find the link to the meeting on our website at kaiserfire.com, and I know it's on the agenda, which should be posted there. So if you wish to join, you're welcome to do that. The primary item on our agenda is the receipt of our annual audit. We chose a new firm to do our auditing, Grove, Mueller, and Swank. And we have received the highest rating that can be given to an audit, an unqualified opinion, which, you know, I've been involved in a lot of audits in the last 20 years, and that is the kind of rating you want to get. It's about as understated as one can get, which I think kind of describes auditors anyway. And it is basically an equivalent of an A rating. So we're really proud of that. We also on our agenda is to adopt a resolution that continues the declaration of an emergency that will continue to keep the station closed to the public. As you can imagine, the staff and volunteers follow protocols to keep themselves, each other, and patients safe. I did find out that last week we had transported 3 COVID patients. And I also heard that apparently there are something like 100 cases of COVID-19 among the Salem Health staff. And of course, that staff has expanded quite a lot in the last 2 or 3 years as they've added quite a few clinics, as well as the hospital to it. And of course, Pfizer vaccine is expected to be shipped soon. I believe it was approved by the CDC yesterday. And their batches are expected to go to hospitals, which of course makes a lot of sense since those staff are really in a compromised condition, and they have the very cold environment needed for them as well. When the Moderna vaccine comes, it is expected to be dispersed to nursing homes and senior living facilities. And we do expect that some of our EMS staff may be help to administer them to the residents in those facilities. I know from experience that there are not very many staff who can administer shots, and so that will be a great help, I think, to those facilities and the residents who live there. In 2015, voters approved a bond measure for Kaiser Fire to purchase new equipment. We sold some of those bonds in 2016 and purchased new equipment at that time. And we sold the remaining bonds this last spring and are replacing the last of the old, if you will, equipment. As a result, we will be surplusing our oldest medic unit, which dates back to 2003. That's practically brand new compared to some of the other old equipment. We have an old grass fire rig from 1996, and the oldest engine that we have comes from 1999. And you can imagine how many miles those, especially that engine and that ambulance might have run in all the trips up and down River Road in the last few years. Particularly, I think we average somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 calls a day. So there's, if you're on River Road and you see Kaiser Fire equipment, you'll know that we're on the job meeting somebody's needs. So then the staff will be evaluating how to dispose of that surplus equipment. And one of the things we'll be looking at is to determine whether any of the smaller districts of the canyon can use them and how we might be able to work with them on that. If you've been reading in the news, you know that Marion County Fire District lost the election to continue its levy, and they will be laying off about a dozen staff. Apparently, a few are eligible to retire, which is helpful, and the others have been invited to apply at Kaiser Fire District. Salem Fire is planning to do some hiring in February. So as a result, it's possible that most of those laid off firefighters could be hired either by Kaiser or Salem. And this is really certainly will be quicker to get them up and running than someone who has not done the work before. I also want to talk a little bit about Kaiser Rotary. I've been a member for just a few years, and my husband was a member before that. But and they've been really active in the Kaiser community over the years, and done a lot of things. And I want to talk about the most recent thing that has occurred as a result of the fires in the canyon. The Rotary International donated $25,000 to our district area, Clark County, the Estacada area, and our canyon for assisting people who were either uninsured or underinsured. And Clark County didn't have any need for that money, and Clackamas County area had only 4 applications. So we were able to spend the bulk of the money. And in addition, our Rotary district gave another $7,000, and our Kaiser Rotary Foundation added another $5,000. The focus of this program was to help people who were uninsured or underinsured, lost tools that affected their ability to earn money, and or lost equipment or supplies that allowed them to continue in school. We were able to help 36 people in 2 rounds of applications, and most were seeking help with tools they needed to resume working. In some cases, they worked for a company that required them to provide their own tools, and in other cases, they were independent contractors or handyman men or women who worked on a variety of projects and had to have their own tools. One man who was retired did handyman work for a place to live. And as I know that there are a lot of people who lived up the canyon who had few resources to begin with, and then many of them have lost everything. And so this was we provided $1,000 in maximum assistance to the applicants that we chose. Mark Collier, who many people in the Kaiser area know and is an active member of Kaiser Rotary, did a wonderful job of getting the applications, and in some cases actually helping the applicants fill out the applications. He's a retired police officer and vetted the applications by talking with every applicant, and in many cases followed up with others to verify the losses that were claimed and what their position was. He also, I think this is really great. He also worked with Ace Hardware in Staten, who gave a discount for every situation that they could fill. And there were quite a few they could fill, not all of them, of course, because they don't carry all the things that were needed. But this was I think, a real win-win. We were able to purchase a lot of equipment locally then, helping the applicants and a local business as well. So I think that's a real positive thing. We know that there's about $1,500 left of the Kaiser Rotary funds. And Mark is recommending, and I agree with this, we donate those funds to the Mill City Tool Lending Library to help them continue to provide support in their area. And actually, they were instrumental in getting the word out to people about our grant process and getting in touch with Mark and be able to apply. They apparently have temporarily relocated to Gates because there's more need up in that area. And it's great because they have tools available that maybe somebody only needs, for a couple of days, twice a year, and they can borrow them and then bring them back and then borrow them again next time, and they don't have to invest in those tools. So that's, I think, a wonderful thing that somebody thought of, and is a great deal. And because of the reputation of Kaiser Rotary, Movement Mortgage donated over $20,000 to Kaiser Rotary Foundation for Canyon Relief. And that money has since been turned over to the Wildfire Relief Fund that's operating out of Santiam Hospital for benefit of people hurt by the wildfires. So all of that money also went directly to those that were being helped. There were no administrative costs being collected off of it. So I'm proud to be both an elected official on the Kaiser Fire District Board and a member of the Kaiser Rotary. So thanks, Cathy. I appreciate being part of Coffee with Cathy and sharing information about the Kaiser Fire District and what's going on. And I got out one of my many Christmas sweatshirts today, finally, and wish everyone happy holidays, and to you, and especially Cathy, and hope you have a great time where you are. Thank you for including me.
Oh, hold on, we got to unmute Cathy here. There, Cathy.
There we go. Now I'm back on. I was trying to keep things quiet in the background. But thank you so much, Betty, for your participation all year long and keeping us up to date with the Kaiser Fire District through all of the changes that have happened this year and being ready to serve and take care of people. The news about the Rotary is absolutely fantastic, and what a great way to make sure that our neighbors in the canyon know that we are in this for the long haul to help them through recovery all the way. So if you could get me the information about the Mill City Tool Lending Library, I would love to help push that out as well, so others who would like to participate can help in that regard. That is such a practical way to do it.
Great. I will be happy to do that. So it's amazing how a small amount I kind of really characterized it as we're giving people a little, like half a step up, if you will, because they now have some tools. They can do something that is like taking control of their lives when everything has been taken away. Or, yeah. So I'm really pleased that we were able to do that. So
That's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, if you get that information out there, we will be happy to share it. That's just one of many very practical ways that organizations like Rotary and Kaiser have stepped up to make sure that our neighbors in the Canyon know that they have partners and neighbors here who are caring about them in a very practical way. So this is great to hear about the partnership between Gates and Mill City. And I'm sure that even more is coming.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you very much, Cathy.
Thank you. It is now my pleasure to go to Pastor Jose Dominguez. Pastor, I love that you're doing your Facebook messages. I enjoy listening to them and the words of encouragement and the practical help that you've given, not only to your parishioners, but also to members throughout our community. Pastor Dominguez, welcome today and Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad para los que nos escuchan. Merry Christmas for those that are listening to us. What an amazing thing is going on in the community of Kaiser as we're seeing Jonathan and Colleen and many of the volunteers out there, you know, putting some smiles and putting some hope in people's hearts. What a great thing. Our community steps up. You know, that's part of who we are in Kaiser. We help each other, and in the faith community right now, there's a movement that we are beginning. It's called We Are Stronger Together, and it's a community of pastors who are gathering together to first of all get to know each other, get to work together, and hopefully as we continue that, we'll be able to do some work in the community. Of course, all of you know there are some challenges out there, and the other day I was just kind of thinking, I go, what is the perspective of the faith community? What's going on in the faith community? And sure enough, this morning as I woke up, I got a survey, and I'd like to kind of share a little bit of that survey of some of the challenges that churches are going through, and some of the perspective that senior pastors, leaders in the faith community are having to face. And it's very interesting. This morning as I got up, I was reading this survey, and it's a survey by something called Church Extension Plan, and they're a loan company that gives loans and helps churches not only locally but in underdeveloped countries in missions. And the survey was a twofold survey. What they were trying to figure out was number one, they did this during the summer, about 5 months into the pandemic, and during the tumultuous times, as you know, we all were going through, and they wanted to get insight as to what was going on in the church and how they could help the church. So 228 church leaders responded to this survey, and 82 of those church leaders were Latino church leaders, and their responses gave a glimpse of some of the realities that church leaders are facing. And one of the things that came out on this survey was that 38% of those 238 churches, some of the leaders were saying that they felt that they were more tired as usual. And I guess that's pretty common during the pandemic. And there were some very interesting things. The question was asked how the church leaders are doing personally and professionally as they are going forward into this pandemic. And the following statements were given by various church leaders, and there was a percentage on there. They're more hopeful now than they've ever been for some time, and 42% of those gave that answer. Of course, the tired more than usual was 38%, And there were other questions, like, I'm not going to take very long with this, but I think it's interesting to get a view and a perspective of what the faith community is facing. So now, in terms of vision and anticipation of going forward with this pandemic, um, there's been some challenges. The loss of attendance. There's been a loss of attendance in our congregations, and basically because of some of the requirements. Also, concern from spiritual leaders, the loss of spiritual health in our churches, and that's a big one right now. We are concerned about the spiritual health of our congregants, hoping that during this time they're able to face those challenges, to go forward with hope, to go forward with faith, and some good solutions, creative solutions. The other things were the increasing number of people in need of money, food, and employment. 34% of those churches were concerned about that. And then to finish this up, what were some of your priorities as a church leader, as a church? And one of those was caring for our community needs. Our churches are concerned with our community. We feel like we're part of our community and want to not only invest, but we also want to help. And so 58% of those churches responded regarding community needs. There's a concern there. Focus on vision and mission was the highest one, which was 71%. But as we go forward as a faith community, we're here to serve our community, to serve the people that are in need. Just this week, in our little sphere of influence that we have, a small little sphere there, we had several families that called us by phone. And they weren't our congregants, but they were people in the community that got COVID. The whole family got COVID, and so they couldn't go out of the house. How are they going to eat? How are they going to? So several of us got together. We came up with a plan, and we were able to serve that family. We were able to serve some other families, and going forward, we're expecting to help families as the needs rise. And that's why I'm just so happy with what's going on right now over there at the Kaiser Plaza. What an amazing thing, you guys out there. And we're just so grateful, so thankful that not only our church leaders, our community leaders, our local leaders are gathering together, seeing the need, supplying it, and sharing that little love that we have in our heart during the time of Christmas. I don't have anything much to say other than that. And again, Mayor, thank you very much for the invitation to Coffee with Cathy.
Thank you so much, Pastor. And thank you for the work you are doing to help people remain hopeful, because it is our spiritual health and wellness that is also thrive into a future. Hope is the foundation. And I just want to thank you for your tireless efforts to make sure that the people in your congregation and in our community are continually reminded and feel surrounded by hope and love and comfort, both in a practical and those wonderfully important and tangible ways as well. Pastor, how can we be helpful to you and our faith leaders during this time to make sure that the self-care you need and the needs of our faith community are met? How can we be helpful for you?
One of our concerns right now at Light of the Valley, and I know it's not only our fellowship, and I look at our community, our city, as one church. I don't like to focus on one particular church, but I think some of the concerns that we have in the faith community are the children, the opportunity for children, and that's why I'm so overjoyed. They're giving out toys to children, and that's one of the areas Light of the Valley and other churches We'd like to partner with other churches as well. Just finding a gift to be able to give to children during this Christmas time. Of course, as we're going into this pandemic, um, you know, children, just the other day or yesterday, I was at a barber shop and a salon. They were open. He was happy. He's got a job where is able to work. And it's talking to the stylist. He's telling me, he says, one of my concerns as a stylist is our children. He says, my son, he was in a situation where his son wanted to go play with a family, with his friends in another home, and he says, Dad, I'd like to really play with my friends. And they have a good relationship with that family, and the family worked it out together where that child could go play with his friends. And I asked him about how he's doing in terms of a toy for his child or something that we could do for him. And well, he says that because he's working, he's okay, but that he knows of families that are in need. And that's our concern. If anything, prayer is one thing, that we get the strength and to be able to help those that are in need. And of course, our concern is children getting something, a little toy, something that will make them happy, make them joyful, get that smile on their face, and that hope that Christmas time brings.
Thank you. And that's a wonderful word for us. And if there's a way that we can partner, I know that there were additional gifts brought to the chamber for the Giving Basket program. I would encourage you and other pastors to reach out to the chamber and to United Way, who also received a shipment courtesy of the Marines Toys for Tots.
Oh, wow.
And they are getting those distributed throughout the community to a variety of organizations. Yeah. I do want to give a shout out to Rhonda Wolf at United Way. I have a pleasure of working with her on the Nib-Willamette Valley Homeless Alliance, and to yes as fast as she can, pivoting and finding places that there's a need to be met, and they get to yes, how can we partner to meet that need? So getting the toys out to the kids definitely would encourage an outreach to the United Way and see what they have as well.
Mayor, Mayor, if you could send me that information, I'd like to get in touch with them and network with them and work together.
I will do an introductory email for the two of you. Happy to connect you. I'm making a note to myself right now.
Thank you.
Email, big star right there. Absolutely. And that's how we do it. We communicate, we share our resources, and that's how we are thriving our way in new and exciting ways to take care of each other in 2020. We've had a lot of things come at us, and we have found ways that we can be resilient, both individually, but most importantly, by taking care of each other. So there's a couple of things I'd like to cover with you all today, let you know what's going on in the wonderful city of Keizer. You've heard from our tremendous leaders, and among the work that we're doing here at the city is open. We continue to provide all services as needed. Many of them have adapted to 2020. So when the freeze came, we already had systems in place to make sure all services remained fully functional and ready for you, if it's parks, if it's planning, if it's police, if it's finance and bill paying. We're already there for you, and we're making sure that we are able to take care of serving the people of Keizer. You may be seeing on Facebook, and we're going to blast it everywhere, that right now we are doing a parks survey. One of the things that we've needed to do is update our parks master plan. Thanks to the tremendous value we have gotten out of every dollar from the parks fee, along with our budget allocation for our parks, we have been able to work through a tremendous backlog of maintenance that desperately needed to be done. Our parks are now welcoming and safe for families to be outside in the fresh air and sunshine. Well, sunshine when we can get it. But we know that being outside is healthy for the mind, body, and spirit. So we wanted our parks to be a place where families could go and be and find new activities that they could enjoy safely together. So please respond to the survey. We need to hear from you. What's next for our 19 park system here in Kaiser? We've got a number of people who have been letting us know on Facebook, and we've all experienced it as well, about River Road and some of our main streets. The striping is not as bright as it was supposed to be. The city of Kaiser contracts with Marion County for our road striping. They did make a change to the formula. We were hoping that that would be successful in making it more reflective. It had not had the results we expected. I want you all to know that Bill Lawyer, our Public Works Director, is working with Marion County to problem solve on that, so we can take steps to correct that and make sure that the stripes are as bright as they can be for everyone's safety as they travel. That said, we all know that during these dark and damp nights, that the reflection will, even at the brightest, will still be difficult. And we encourage everybody, slow down, leave more space, and just make sure that you're able to anticipate problems before they happen. But we will do our part to make sure that the streets are properly striped and reflective. So working together, we'll keep people safe through the winter season. Speaking of keeping our roads safe, if you've got a storm drain near you, please clear off the leaves and any other debris. One of the things that makes our roads more safe is keeping the water off, and that is dependent on accessibility to the storm drains. And for anybody who doesn't know, all of our storm drains go directly to the river. So it's not going through the treatment plant. So the only thing going down the storm drain should be water. So help us keep those clear. It'll help your neighborhood streets remain safe and passable. So one of the things we're doing for this season is also art. So 3 things I want to let you know about is we have 2 new hangings in the Civic Center. We have the quilts. There's nothing that says warm winter nights than beautiful quilts. And thanks to the Mid-Willamette Quilt Guild, we have our annual quilt show. So the Civic Center is open. Face coverings are required. But during business hours, you can stroll through and enjoy those beautiful quilts that have been handmade and are on display. Also, the Black, White, and Gray show from the Kaiser Art Association, their November show, the winners from that show are now on display in the Kaiser Civic Center in their part of the gallery. So come and enjoy both of those. Now, if you or a family member are creating art during this holiday season, we would encourage you to enter that art into the 2021 Holiday Art Contest. There is a cash prize for the card that will be selected to be the City of Kaiser 2021 holiday card. So get your creative juices, send in your entries, go to our website at kaiser.org and click on the link to enter your art in the 2021 Holiday Art Contest. So City Council, we do have 2 new city councilors coming on in January. That's Councilor-elect Ross Day and Councilor-elect Kyle Duran. We will be doing our first work session with our current council and our 2 incoming councilors on Monday at 6. We are Zooming this month, so please tune in either on Facebook or through kaisertv.com, and you can watch all of the proceedings. As always, our council packets are available online for you to read along with us. The same homework we get, you can read it too. We want to make sure that you have all the information we have. In addition, if you submit written testimony, that is all collected and is posted after the council meeting on an amended packet, so that all written testimony is available to be viewed and read by the public. So this coming work session, we'll be starting to talk about the goals that we have had for these last 2 years, and it will be a transition into the discussion about goal setting for the 21-22 biennium. Your input is, again, very much welcome. couple of the key things are housing and homelessness. We've been talking about how we take care of one another in our community. And I am very, very honored to serve as the chair of the Mid-Willamette Valley Homeless Alliance, the 2-county alliance that is working together with service providers, housing providers, and social service agencies and public governments to make sure that we are working together to provide meaningful and sustainable and practical services for people who are homeless or on the verge of becoming homeless, so we can help prevent that from happening. With that, I am very pleased to announce that if you didn't already know, the duration shelters are now open. The City of Salem, working with Arches and other service providers, have been able to open 2 duration shelters, meaning that they remain open regardless of the temperature. In the last several years, we've been able to operate warming shelters for when we have freezing weather, and they have very much been important in saving lives. But we recognize during the cold, rainy weather that is not below freezing, people still need to be inside and safe and warm so that they can begin to navigate into feeling safe and building trust so they can continue to make progress in their lives toward permanent supportive housing. So the 2 shelters that are open, please go to Artis or City of Salem, and you'll be able to see where they are. There is a wish list of needs for all of our shelters, and that is in the newsletter for the Mid-Willamette Valley Homeless Alliance. If you want to help and make sure that things that you donate get to people in need, I encourage you to go to that website and donate to the service providers who are taking care of folks in the shelters that we have around town. Church at the Park is also doing tremendous work, and they would also appreciate your donations toward meeting the needs of people who are living over in that area as they also receive wraparound services. The city of Kaiser, the community of Kaiser, we know are filled with very generous people. We are seeing that right now as Colleen continues to broadcast from Santa Central. We are so thankful that you have been generous not only now, but that you are doing that year round. You give smart, you give generously, and you give from the heart. I am so thankful to be a member of a community that puts pride, spirit, and volunteerism into loving action every single day. It is truly a pleasure to be able to serve you. I look forward to hearing from any of you in the community who have needs, concerns, inspiration, ideas, so that we can continue to thrive as a community into 2021. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and a Pastor Jose Dominguez from La Luz del Valle, Colleen Bush from Salem Kaiser Transit, Jonathan Thompson from the Kaiser Chamber, 2020, so we can keep the people in our community informed. When we are informed, we make wise decisions, and we can use the resources we have in collaboration with others. Thank you so much for being part of this through 2020. And I look forward to meeting with you again in 2021 as we continue our monthly Coffee with Cathy, both online and at the right time in person and places to be announced. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. David, I'm going to kick it back to you to wrap up today's Coffee with Cathy for December 2020.
Well, thank you very much, Cathy. We're lucky to have you and Kevin for all you do for our community. You know, last year I took some of these packages out to the families, and just imagine 240 doors being knocked on, and there were fridges that didn't have a lot of food in them. And there were some kids who came to the door because both parents were working when we delivered these packages. And you just cannot know and share the humanity of a child looking down at a gift when we were in tough times. And it's just wonderful, the spirit that's happening. You might see the Santa Central, but out in the homes, in the neighborhoods. There's smiles. There's human-to-human engagement. The spirit of Christmas and the holiday season is exchanged like never before during this time. So it's just a great time of year, and reach out to your neighbors. It's the Kaiser way, and everyone, we will see you next month, and take care. Goodbye, everybody.